Okay. Hello. Who's here? Hello. Hey guys. Hey, Divine Feminine 87, you made it. Hi. What is going on? I'm so happy that you were able to make it, honestly. Yes, thank you. How are things? Let's start there. How's your new year been so far? Because 2022, as ending that year was a lot. It was a lot. Oh, it's breaking up a little bit? Okay. I asked, how is your year starting, like 2023? How has it been for you? It's been the first 5 days of the year. It has not been bad. Work-wise, has been a lot. I work in mental health. And so that's been, it's mental health. But it's January 5th, 2023. That's wild. 2023. Wow. I look back on like 2020 or like 2012, and I'm thinking that wasn't that long ago, and it was long ago. So weird. Okay, sounds good. And Mahogany Wildflower, welcome. I don't think I've ever communicated with you, so thank you so much for coming here. Can you hear me okay? Because I know Divine Feminine 87 had a hard time. Okay, you can hear now. Okay, awesome. Okay, so where are you, Divine Feminine 87? Let's go to your site. Okay, where are you guys? Are you guys in the United States? Are you outside the United States? Because it's so cool. Indianapolis, awesome. It's so cool because YouTube can connect you to people from all over the world. It's awesome. But oh, New York, okay. How's the weather over there? I'm in California, and we're experiencing a big storm right now where it's like a lot of wind and rain. It reminds me kind of like a hurricane, but we don't get hurricanes. They call it a bomb cycle. A bomb cyclone. That's it. So it's been really, really windy, raining, and it's a trip. It's a trip because we've been in drought for so long, and now we have all this rain. It's wild. It's wild. But yeah, I feel like talking a lot because I am freezing. Oh yeah, in Buffalo. So I know someone that lives in Buffalo, and she's been posting on Facebook like the pictures and stuff, how they ran out of power. I used to live in the snow, and I will never do that again because where I lived, every time it snowed, the power would go out, and I didn't have a generator because I lived in an apartment, and it was horrific. And driving in snow, it's not ideal. Like it's just, yeah, me and snow we're not a good pair. I'm from Sacramento. I'm in the county now. We don't get snow here. This is considered the valley. So we get rain, you know, a lot of heat, but not anything serious like snow. So I'm thankful for that. And Divine Feminine 87, I send you my prayers because I know it can get really rough. I know it snows in Indiana too. Yeah, don't don't mix. Yeah, it's not good. And people that have never lived in snow, they'll always be like, oh, but it's so pretty. And like, yeah, try living in it and then holler at me after that. But it is winter, so these are the things that happen during winter. And I know it's a lot more now because of global warming. It's a real thing that's happening. Yeah. So yeah. So you guys, let's talk. Like I want everyone to get to know me more, because I know I haven't been posting any videos for like maybe 6 months or maybe more. I've went through like this long stage of not feeling inspired to do things. So I have my phone here. I'm on call for work too. Okay, so I hadn't been feeling inspired, and I was also going through some shit that lasted for a while. And you know, when you're going through something, you may not recognize what you're going through until you're like out of it. And that's why I feel like I've been like these last few months, just learning more about myself. And it's interesting, like how much you don't know about yourself or how much you're not consciously aware about yourself. And when you're with the right person and like help bring that out of you or like show you how that is, it's really difficult, but then there's an opportunity for you to grow and heal and to know yourself better. So that's why I haven't been posting anything. I've been posting like on my stories, yeah, or the shorts on YouTube, because that's fairly easy. And another reason is my drive. Like I'll record a video like for my tarot channel. I recorded the videos, all good to go, and then my partner will edit my videos, and he has. It was during a Mercury retrograde. That was like the last Mercury retrograde, I believe. And he couldn't edit my videos. So then there was that. And then I record another video and his storage is full. So he needs his drive cleaned and erased and deleted or whatnot. And yeah, I could probably hire somebody to do it, but I want to encourage his growth with editing because that's something that he's gotten into. So I want to support that. So that's a huge reason as to why I haven't been posting anything lately. But like I said, I want to change that. Like this is my first live on YouTube. I've never even considered, I never even thought about going live, which is wild. That's really wild, I know. But I have my highest following is here on YouTube. So why not nurture that, you know? I feel like Instagram gives you an opportunity to actually like really build rapport with your audience because there's an option of direct messaging. But it seems like Instagram is turning more into TikTok now. And so I'm like, YouTube, go back to YouTube, see what's up. But yeah, so is there any questions that you guys would like to ask me? I'm very open. I'm very much an open book. Because that's my personality and it's easy for me to do that, you know, because I feel like my experiences aren't just my experiences alone. We all go through similar situations. It's definitely like feelings that we feel. We can all resonate with that, just different circumstances and situations, and that's comforting to know, like, okay, well, I know I'm not alone in how I'm feeling right now, you know? Yeah, and if you have a therapist, that's even better. Yeah. I've had my therapist since I want to say November, the end part of 2019. Yeah, that's when my last relationship ended. I had to, so my last relationship of like almost 4 years ended. And then right after that, I met my divine counterpart. And then right after that, he dipped. And then after that, I had burnout. So therapy was absolutely needed. So I've been my therapist since then, since the end of like 2019. Oh, wow, that's been like 3 years. Wait, 21, 2, 4 years. Okay, so at the end of this year, it'll be 4 years with the same therapist, which is awesome. It's really great when you can find a therapist that you connect with. And I think for me, it's a little bit different because I am also a therapist. So it's like I'm talking to somebody that, you know what I mean? Like, and I guess for me, it's just like more of like processing, like, and it's good. It's good to like get out of my own head and like talk to somebody that doesn't, I mean, she knows me, but like, she doesn't spend a lot of time with me. She spends 1 hour a month with me now. You know what I mean? So it's nice and it gives a whole different perspective. Okay, yeah, the dry spot. Yeah, yeah, and it's hard. It's a creative block for sure. And I'll get so frustrated and frustrated with myself because I can't think of things to do. So I am working with a business coach. I've been with her for a year now. I think yeah. So accountability is big too, being accountable, being held accountable. Someone knowing your vision and seeing your potential and, to help you along, that really helps. That really helps. Like today, she texted me and she said, "Good luck on your live." And I was like, oh my God, thank you, right? Because she follows me on YouTube too. And I said, I don't think I know what I'm going to talk about. And she's like, "Yes, you do." And she screenshotted a list that I've been creating like monthly, what I plan on talking about. I'm like, "You're right. I don't give myself enough credit." But I'm coming out of the creative block. Share your story. I've never talked to anyone about the twin flame journey out of fear of sounding crazy. It's one of those things that you have to be in. Yeah, absolutely. So when I was on my journey, it was interesting because I'm also a medium too. So energy, like I understand energy immediately, right? When I met him, okay, so story time. So after my relationship ended with my ex, a coworker of mine was like, "You should try this one website, this one dating website." And I said, "Well, I guess." I wasn't looking for anything serious. I was just like really wanted to date. And so I made a profile. I would say maybe like a week later, he finds me on there and he likes me. And I'm like, he looks familiar. And I'm like, but I don't know him. I've never met him, but he looks really familiar. So it's like, he looked really familiar. I did not know him. He lived 2 hours from where I lived, right? So I kind of sat on it for a little bit. I was like, I don't know. And he's 10 years older than me. Okay, so he's 10 years older than me. He lives 2 hours away. Okay, so there's two things. So I sat on it for a while. I was like, I don't know. So then I was like, I remember the message I sent him. I said, "Who would you choose out of the three? Harry Potter, Star Wars, or Star Trek, or something like that?" And I think he chose Harry Potter or Star Trek or something like that. And it was just like a really, really silly question, but like he answered it correctly. I don't know if that makes sense. Sounds kind of weird, but we talked off and on like a month. And then I met him in person like a few days before I went to the UK to attend the Arthur Findlay College Spiritualist College for advanced mediumship courses as a week-long course. And so I was like, well, I'll meet him. I've been talking to him off and on for like a month. I think it's a good time to meet. So we met. And when he gave me a hug, like, you know how people just like, just to be kind and whatnot. When he gave me a hug and he walked away, his energy stayed with me and it felt really familiar. So I'm standing there and I'm like, he's still with me. Even though he's over there at the register, he is still with me and he feels so familiar. So that familiarity was like, I was like, okay, yeah. We spent 8 hours together on the first date. 8 hours, okay? It was a full moon and it was October 13th. The reason how I remember that is because both of us was born on the 26th of the month and half of 26 is 13. So that was very significant. And after that day, he ended up telling me like he felt the same way. And I was just like, this is a soulmate. This is a soulmate, but okay, yep. And I recognized that. So okay, let's see what happens. And it was like a week before he ghosted the first time. He got triggered and we talked about it. And me with my psychology background, I understood to give him space, but on top of that, there was a knowing that he was gonna dip. Like I was just like, I feel like this has happened before. So this has happened before and I just knew it was gonna happen. And so when it did happen, I wasn't devastated because I understood, okay, I know he got triggered. There's some stuff he's gonna work out, like I'm let him work out. But I didn't know at that point like how in depth this connection really was. And so fast forward, and he was a serial in and out. So when I would talk to my best friend about him, and I would tell her, I'm going back to the topic of like why I started this topic, but I told her and she was like, Amber, no, like he does not care about you. He does not want to be with you. If he did, he wouldn't treat you like this. He wouldn't do this. And I'm like, I'm going to have to agree to disagree with you on this one. Right. And so when we got back together, so we came into union and he was living in Michigan. I was living in California. And we decided that we were going to start a new chapter in our lives together in Santa Cruz, California, which is Central Coast. And my best friend was like, okay, so first, once we made the decision that we were going to move to Santa Cruz together, a week later, I had like 8 interviews in Santa Cruz, and then we were able to find this apartment, which I'll have to do a story time for because we ended up in court with this landlord. And if you guys want a story time on our experience in Santa Cruz, let me know. I'll do a live story time for that or a video, whatever. But anyway, so I moved there, right? So I moved by myself because he was still in Michigan. He was going to come down once he got a job. Okay. So I'm like getting ready to move down there. And my best friend's like, I'm really worried about you because I don't think he's going to come. Hey, you don't think he's going to come? She's like, no. And I stopped and I was like, I can totally understand where you're coming from because of past behavior, but he's going to come. And she's like, Amber, I hope so, but I really don't think he's going to do it. I'm like, it's okay, right? So he ends up coming down a month later. He found a job, and so he came down, and then like after a while, we talked, and she was like, "You're right," and I was like, "Huh? What?" She's like, "You're right." I was like, I know I was right because I understood energy and I understood the connection because I was able to increase my psychic gifts during this journey because as you heal, you grow spiritually as well, grow. And so my psychic abilities have increased since being on this journey. So I was just like, yeah, I know. But like, I tell you these things and I feel like that I'm gifted, but you don't know unless like something happens, you know what I mean? Like people be like, oh yeah, like, oh, they're psychic or they're a medium, whatever. And until they actually witness that said, events or that said behavior, they're not going to believe it. So it took for my best friend to like see my journey and like understand like I'm really gifted. They're just like, oh yeah, you were right. So I said all of that, Divine Feminine 87, to tell you that yes, I know. And on the journey, Spirit had guided me to share my journey. it was like, talk about your story, talk about your journey. So I started, and I didn't think that it was going to be anything what I have now. And so I'm happy that I can be that person of reason, especially since I do have that background in psychology. So I understand and I know the education and knowledge about relationship dynamics. Like I understand that, right? And then I also have the other part of me that's the spiritualist, that's sensitive, that can speak to loved ones in spirit and can pick up on energy and understand it. I have both of those because it's important. And this is what makes me different from all the other people that are out there. I have psychology background. I work as a mental health provider 5 days a week. Okay. I know what dysfunctionality looks like. I know what toxicity looks like. And a lot of stuff that's out there is misinformed, is misinformation, and it's like glorifying toxicity without healing it or without paying any attention to healing it. It's like the whole Blueface and Krishan. If you guys know that duo, that is just glorifying toxicity. They're karmics, 100% karmics, right, for each other. But it's like it's super glorified. Like their relationship is beyond sad. It's really sad, and they have a lot of inner work to do. That's not love, that's toxicity. And it's just glorified, and they do that with the twin flame journey as well. And I think that I think I'm in the best position to talk about what the journey really is about and the psychology around relationships. I think that's so important. It's not being said, and it needs to be said. It needs to be said. I'm into psychology and philosophy. They complement each other, and they do. 100% they do. They do. And it's just, it's like I feel geeky talking about it. But psychology and philosophy, they intertwine with each other. The work that you do as a therapist is very intuitive. Like you have to be able to I don't want to say read your client, but be able to understand when something is off or pick up on something so that a change may occur within them. You know what I mean? Like it's intuitive. And not all therapists are good therapists at all. Just because you went to school, got you a graduate degree, got you a license, doesn't mean that you're A1 amazing therapist. Okay? Just say that. With any field that you go into, any community that you go to, you're always going to have a light and dark side, right? Laws of duality. But picking someone's mind, you're fighting. I find that my therapeutic style is not that, but I'm completely myself in session. So, you sit up there talking and look into questions, help them find the answers in what they're seeking. You know what I mean? And building that bond that's great. That's what makes the magic happen from within, Okay, there we go. All right. But let me ask you guys this. What are your thoughts about resolutions? Specifically, New Year's resolutions. What are your thoughts? Okay. Just curious. I feel like that was a whole solid minute. I think working on yourself and short and long-term goals should all be year-round. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's a good definition of it. I feel like resolutions are a setup. I feel like we set ourselves up when we focus on resolutions rather than just reassessing oneself and seeing like where we're at with things. You know what I mean? Like, because it's a continuous thing, cycle, right? And we're always going through different cycles of where we're at. So let's say, like for me, health wise, like I started working with a naturopathic doctor. I've started exercising more and being serious about my exercise. I don't have any set goals per se, other than just making sure that I'm being the best self that I can be. I can be the best version of Amber. And I don't have I want to be this by this, or I want to feel like this by this, or like look like this by this. Like it's just reassessing, like, okay, well, I'm doing the work. Let's see what's coming out of that work. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just feel like I mean, in theory, I feel like they're good to have resolutions, but it's just always ends up in disappointment. You know, they don't stick. You're right. Yeah, they don't stick. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's just I feel like they're setups. So instead of resoluting, instead of resoluting, we're reassessing. We're assessing. Do we like where things are? No? Okay, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's figure out what it is that we want to change or want to do. It's an ongoing cycle. And that way, if you look at it as like in the present moment and then just reassessing where you're at whenever needed, you're not going to let yourself down, because then there's always room for improvement. I guess you can look at it. I mean, your perspective. Yeah, I stopped doing resolutions. I think once my consciousness like blew up. I haven't done it maybe since I was a child, because I always end up disappointing myself. It's a tall tale sign, or tall, was it tell tall tell story. There you go. Tall tell story. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. We could always be the best versions of ourselves. Always. And it's a continuous thing. And I love how the soul, your spirit, it's eternal, right? So you're evolving forever. Like, that's deep, isn't it? I feel like that's really deep. I don't know. When I look up at the stars, I've always known, like, I belong out there. But even as a child, I would just go outside and just look and just feel connected, connected, and just thinking all the other life that's out there that we don't know, just it's deep. It's deep. I don't know how I started talking about that, but oh, evolving. Yeah, evolving. Like, we're always evolving, and that's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And Earth is just another stop in our evolution. It's a school of life, literally. Like, what your soul needs to experience in this life. And every soul is different. So no one soul is going to have the same journey, And I try to hold empathy for others in that space, that we're all on our own journey. And, it's just where you're at in your evolution, your soul's evolution. And this body is not our body. It's temporary, the spirit, that's the body, and it's energy. And energy cannot be destroyed, right? It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be destroyed. Light. We're all light. all light. And I know that because I'm a medium. And I be downplaying myself a lot when it comes to my mediumship because it's such a I feel like it's such a huge responsibility to be able to hold that space, to be the middle between spirit and their loved one that's still here. I feel like that holds a lot of responsibility. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't even like, is this who I like? Am I really, do I really have these things? Is it really? And spirit never disappoints, never disappoints. And the last reading I had, actually, no, it wasn't the last one, but the last in-person reading I had, I took my counterpart with me. He stayed in the car though. So my anxiety was like on 100, and it usually always is before a session, just because I'm human and I just never know what's going to come in. It's like scared. But you know, I put my girl pants on, everything. I get it together, and I do the work, and it always works. Sorry, it always works. Like whatever needs to come out, it comes out, and it's great. You know. So after I leave the house, I go in the car, and I'm talking to my partner, and I was like, you know, I don't know why I always get so anxious. And he didn't even let me talk. It was just a natural response what he said. He's like, do you think maybe it's because spirit is so high in vibration that it just takes you a while to match it? And I paused and I said, and it was just something that just came out of his mouth, you know, like just flowed out. And I'm like, you're right. I am a medium and I am able to do this. And this anxious energy is just me tapping into higher frequency. And he just said it like it was nothing. It's like, wow, you know, and I just really feel seen by him. I feel seen, accepted, and understood, you know, completely. And I have a twin sister. So, you know, the bond that you have with a twin sibling is, you know, it's unlike any other bond you have. So that's one person that knows me 100%, you know, and this other person is just like, wow, like you really, ugh. And so the reading I had after that, I wasn't as anxious. And then I thought to myself, well, this was a person that I had given a reading to in person years ago, like 2018. So it was 5 years ago. Oh my God, 5 years ago. So I'm like, you know, I'm lightweight nervous, but I am not full blown anxiety. And so the reading goes on. I remember one part of the reading. I'm like, your so-and-so is showing me a tricycle, a red tricycle. Does that make sense? And she paused and she said, I have to show you something. I have to show you something. And she came back and it was a picture of her loved one on a red tricycle. And I was just like, oh my God. And we just had a great laugh about it, you know? Like there's things that come through and I'm just kind of like, I don't even know if that even makes sense. Like, you know, does that make sense to you? And then for me to say that and for her to immediately know and then for her to show me proof, I'm like, Amber, people that don't have that ability cannot do that. That's not a lucky guess, you know? And so I have to get out of my own way a lot. And I'm gonna be honest, like I'm human again. I get in my own way, and just to show the process of like how to get out of that. You know what I mean? And it's like the first step is really being aware that you're self-sabotaging. You're in your own way. You know, I watched the Tyler Henry show on Netflix, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, we have the same process, except for he scribbles when he's channeling. I don't scribble, but the things that he was saying, I'm like, I work just like that. I'm like, why am I not doing more work of that? It's like, I was doing it, and then I started my twin flame journey, and then it was just kind of like, that was all I was known for after that. Like, no, but I'm actually this too. Like, I actually was doing this before this whole twin flame journey thing happened. And I want to, like, get back to my most authentic self, and that is Amber the medium. So I decided that I was going to do a virtual group session next Saturday. It's called an intimate evening with spirit. I had my first one. I did it in person, and there was a huge. All my tickets were sold. My first event, and I was so nervous. This was the picture of the group event, and this is me in the middle, and all these women came, and the majority of them all got a message. I was like, wow, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, 2, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people, almost 10 people. And that was my first event. So I'm like, and then COVID hit. It's like, dang, and I had just did one in January. That wasn't that one, but I did one in January, did an event, and it was amazing. It was great. It was great. Just like another example from that one, the last one, live one I did. My sister, that was the first time she saw me demonstrate mediumship. Yeah, so she was with me. And I was like, I feel like I have a man with me right now. Like, feels like he's like a grandfather energy, And so she's like, really? I was like, yeah, I feel like he's here with me. Like, I could feel him, And not in a sense of like somebody's right behind me, just like his energy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but he was with me. So that's the first person I brought through. So I was like, this man, I feel like his grandfather. I was like, and he's showing me a picture of like you and him, but you were younger and you were in a different country. And he's like, yeah. And so afterwards, he showed me the picture, and it was him and his grandfather, and they were from like Russia. And I was just like, you cannot make that up. There's no way. There's no way. And it's just this overwhelming sense of love. Not even overwhelming. It's very warming, but it's the gift that keeps giving. You know what I mean? Like, they are healed by the experience. I'm healed from the experience in some aspects, not like, as far as like, maybe not healed, but like grateful. Like, I have a multitude amount of gratitude for the work that I do with mediumship. Yeah. Like it's an infinite amount of gratitude. And I'm going to start doing more of that. I'm going to make myself do monthly events, and an intimate evening with spirit. It was an intimate night with spirit. But I decided the need to change. Change is good. Excuse me. Thank you, Divine Feminine 87. And thank you to whoever liked the video right now. Thank you. I didn't even have to ask. Thanks. If you like the video so far, you like the live, hit the like button. And tell your friends about me too. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate it. Because I don't know, like I said, this is my first live here on Instagram, and not Instagram, YouTube. And I want to be here, and I want to get to know everyone more, and I want to share my knowledge and my experience, and be what I can. As I grow, I want to help others grow too. So that's part of my mission, my soul mission. I feel like it's always of service. It's always to do, right? Otherwise, what's everything for? Outside of your own growth, that's very important. I noticed something the other day. I went into a Jamba Juice, and normally I can tap in and like see how people are with me. I don't know, like how do you explain it? How can I explain it? I feel like I can just tell if we can be in alignment. I don't know, but I could not tune into the two girls that were helping me. I couldn't connect with them on an energetic level, and it was really weird to me. You know, I don't know how to explain it other than like I couldn't tap into them, and it was weird. I couldn't connect in a form of like me being able to see a bit of myself in you. I couldn't do that. And it was weird. Does that make sense? Like, have you ever felt like that before, anyone? Yeah, mahogany, wallflower, to do, to help, and to serve. Absolutely, soul's purpose. I would add to learn too on it too. But yeah. Yeah, you do know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know. It was just so weird. I'm tripping on it now, but it's weird because that doesn't happen often, or maybe I think maybe my consciousness has grown like just a little bit more as far as like being aware of connecting intimately with other people. And when I say intimately, I'm not talking sexually. I'm talking about like ultimately connecting with somebody on the soul level. It's yeah, it's I don't know, it's different. It's different. So I'm like, wow, I don't know, it's weird. But I just feel like I'm just being able to tap in on a deeper level now. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, but this, changes. I had an experience earlier this year where I experienced death. I know it was weird. I was driving home from work, and that's the best way that I could describe it. It was just like I was here 1 second, and then I was gone the next. And I was very aware of my consciousness outside of my body. And it was like a split second, all that happened. I was like, oh, I was thinking, oh, am I gonna die soon? But there was no fear, no fear. Just it was acceptance, like, oh, okay, like I'm here now. Okay. And it's just a different awareness. It's just, it was deep. It was very deep. And I don't know if I wrote it in my journal. Nifty. She has my initials. Yeah. I don't even know if I wrote about it. I might have written about it, not wrote about it. I know. 2021, 2022. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find that day. Nope. I didn't write about it. I didn't. That's disappointing. Sorry. I was really trying to find it. But yeah, that was an interesting experience. But that's what I feel like when we pass to spirit, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's like I said, it's like an awareness that you're just, oh, I'm here now. Like that's what I feel like. I don't know why spirit gave that to me. I don't know. And I was thinking maybe just to help me connect better with spirit when I'm doing mediumship. I say, okay, thank you. And I just kept going as if it didn't happen. And I mean, all this happened within like a few seconds, that experience. Yeah, it was deep. Do you guys have anything else? Any other questions? I really appreciate those that are here, those who like the live. Thank you. You know, I didn't know if anyone was going to show up, but I will be doing these regularly now. I'm going to fit into my schedule to do at least one a week, if not more. Okay. So if you haven't liked the video already, please like the video. It helps. It helps. I want to reach all the people I can that resonate with me in my message. Yeah, I do. I do. But yeah, so does anyone have any other questions? This has been great. Thank you. I thank Mahogany Wildflower and Divine Feminine 87. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys being here. And the others who have not commented but are watching, I appreciate you guys too. I'm gonna turn my phone crap. I'm sore. I started working out again. I've been out of the gym for about a month because I was sick with bronchitis. And so I went back Tuesday and I did some good mornings. Good mornings is when you have the barbell on your back and then you bend at like a 90-degree angle and then come back up. Yeah, I did those and I did upper body and my lower back. Yeah, Tuesday. So I needed time to recover. And I do plan on going to the gym tomorrow morning though. Yeah, because it's at a okay soreness, you know. Yeah. But yeah, thank you. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to be here and hang out with me. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I do. But next week I'll have a talking point, and we can go from there. Yeah. Do I believe in incarnation? And do you have any advice ghosting and not chasing? I focus more on me. That focus more on me. He comes back into his own. He doesn't like to feel feelings. The ghost gets shorter and shorter. Okay. So to answer your question, I do believe in reincarnation. I do. Because this is not our first life. We're not just doing it right now. I mean, I'm sure there's new souls popping up all over the place. I mean, continuously, right? Since the beginning of time until the end of time. But one life wouldn't do it for you. You know what I mean? As far as like reincarnating into other things, I'm open. I'm not subscribed to any set belief on a reincarnation. But I do believe that the soul does come back in different forms, not just like Earth forms either. There's other races of beings out in the universe. We go through them. Okay. And then advice ghosting. Okay. I don't chase. I focus more on me, which is good. Okay. He comes back on his own. He doesn't like to feel feelings. The ghost gets shorter and shorter. Okay. He doesn't like to feel feelings. That is not healthy. We have to process our emotions somehow. I'm wondering how his upbringing was around expressing feelings, or if there was, toxic masculinity in his family, where he was taught that it wasn't manly to express. We have feelings, we're human beings. We do. But I'm wondering if you can help him express his feelings in a different way. Maybe not talking may not do it for him. Okay, what if he picked up an instrument or picked up a saw or picked up some clay or, or something, a different way to express his feelings if talking verbally is not it for him. You can explore that. He thinks it's soft. He used to ghost for a month, but I've noticed over the last year, the longest he could stay 7 days. Okay. Yeah. I'm curious to know what's happening in his life during the times that he disappears. That's rhetorical, but yeah. I feel like I'm fidgety because I'm cold. Oh, it's cold. And we don't turn the heater on during peak hours because it's so expensive. Turn on after 8 for a little bit, and then we go to bed. Well, before we go to sleep, we turn it off. Just so the house gets a little bit warm. Yeah, so explore that Divine Feminine 87 if you haven't already. If you want to take that suggestion. Yeah. Oh, oily. Wash my face before I go to bed. Okay. So thanks, guys. I will be back next week. I'm going to try to do it next Thursday, I think. I also have sessions in the evening times. So if I don't have a session, you know what? I only have one session though right now every day. So I'll do this next week. It's just the time is pending, but thank you guys for being here. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, briefly. I hope you're not going yet. But you're tired of the cycles. They can stop. They can't. There's another B word that's in my arsenal of tools. Boundaries. 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 And if you want to talk about this more, just email me. You can find my email in my description box on any of my videos. Okay, but yeah, so much love, guys. I'll see you next week, and thank you so much for your participation. Bye for now.